excited and nervous. I have cake. It's pretty fine to be fair. So it's given to me, I'm going to make an absolute mess. I just know I am. How's it going, everyone? I figured I'd come on to a live stream. I've not done one in a bunch. I have no idea if that's too loud. We'll see. I hope everyone's having a good Sunday. I figured I'd come on and talk a load of crap. That's what I thought I'd do. And eat cake. Morning, Dave. I thought I'd come on and just like, I don't know, I have no idea where this is going to go. What up, Kevin? How's it going? I have got a cup of tea. I've got no makeup on, really. Only for yesterday's makeup, anyway. I want to say thank you to Alan Hodgkins for the cake yesterday. I was going to count how many days it's been in isolation. So like, what up Ian, how's it going? So, March 17th, I lost my job. And in the first 2 weeks of that kind of period, I just didn't even know what, like, I didn't even know how to deal with stuff. So I kind of like, I kind of just gamed for like 2, 3, probably a month solid. And then of course, Final Fantasy VII came out, which is cool. Let me know if I need to turn that down. What up, Shaz? How you doing, girl? You okay? Hold on. I'm good, thank you. Well, yeah, I'm good. So the first sort of like couple of weeks was like just certainly a month was like a blur. Cake, I know, right? I've got, look at this. I've had cornflakes this morning. Eating on camera, that's not good, really. See, I was saying, like, you know, the first month was just like, after losing my job, I was like, fuck, what am I going to do? And then the second month was kind of trying to sort stuff out. It's been a blur. I think a lot of people, you know, I might chat down a bit more. It's good, nice to hear you're doing well, Shaz. Always see, like, some people drop off your news feeds, and like, you know, and it's just a shame that it does that, because like, you know, some people that you like take, well, I can think countless friends. I've got like friends in New Zealand, America, and like, you know, they drop off your news feed, and then you go visit them, and then you think, my God, look at all these posts that they've done, you know. Give you some cake, yeah. But I do see your post, Jazz, and I hope you're keeping well. So as I was saying, this whole lockdown thing, I think, has affected so many people in so many different ways. And anybody who can turn like all of this into a positive has my greatest respect. Because I think it's jolly hard. Like, some days I have days where I can kind of like, I can do stuff, and other days I just don't, you know, just like, ugh, you know. There's 2 cakes in a, look, Shaz, what am I going to do? There's 2 cakes in a little, in a thing, you know, and it's just me here, so I'm going to have to eat them both, okay? I think I've actually lost a bit of weight in this isolation. But that's because I didn't want to go shopping. I'm doing really well on my alcohol. I have this thing, it's almost a year now. In fact, it's over a year, bloody hell, where I don't drink alone. So I only drink if I'm in company. And that seems to be working for me, so But it has been hard in this isolation, I'm not going to lie. So it's been proper hard. So how's everyone doing? Is everyone coping okay? Red Dead's so nice. Like, please tell me you're going to complete that game, and then come back to me and have a conversation. Please, if anyone's in the room, anyone's in this chat, please don't send any spoilers. It's an amazing game. It's a fantastic journey. Unfortunately, I didn't feel like the online was as good as maybe the main story. Get down, you girl. I think there's a slight delay on these things, so I apologise for that. But it's an amazing, amazing game. Sometimes I think, for me, I really enjoyed it, and then it went through a bit of a chore. Like when I got to Saint Denis, when it got to that part, I just felt like it was a bit like, it just got a bit like grindy, but then it gets much better, so stick with it. But yeah, I love the horses in that game. Yeah, well, I have been gaming, but gaming's always been like, you know, a fun pastime. A serious fun pastime, like I've always gamed. But it's almost got, you'll definitely complete it. That's good. Good, I'm pleased. Yeah, so motivation's been probably one of my hardest things. Like, I do my music as well. And I've been working on stuff and learning stuff, and obviously enrolled on a course, and I think, you know, I've been trying to keep myself busy and in a positive kind of light, you know, but no, I think it's been hard. I think sometimes, you know, people call me or text me, and I might not, you know, and this is no detriment, but I might not be in a great sort of like, I might not just be like, I might get back to them the following day, because I'm just not very good sometimes. Most of the time I'm fine. But like I said, you know, I think, you know, as I said, I think each and every single one of us is dealing with it in one way or another. So, you know, we have good days and we have bad days. And, you know, who'd have thought, if you'd said to me 6 months ago, I'm not going to work for 2.5 months, I'd be like, what? You know, I've never had this much time off. So, as I say, like, been gaming since 1983. Yeah, I've been gaming a long time too. I just, you know, it's always been that sort of escapism, you know, just kind of like, just get lost in a world. I've got some friends that I hook up with online. I sort of went through a spell where, certainly when I split up with my boyfriend, because I met him funny enough, it's a fun story. My ex, I met on the PlayStation, and that's what's brought me to Birmingham. So basically, we used to be in the sort of same sort of lobbies, and then he was like, "Hey Katie, how you doing?" And I was like, "I'm doing fine." And then we just kind of got talking, and I ended up coming to Birmingham, and we started off as friends for like 6 months. About 6 months, I think. And then we were down in Brindley Place, and then there was like this sort of moment, and then a cute little kiss. That was like, it was super sweet actually. You know, I was with him for about 6 years, but we just grew apart. We wanted different things. No cheating, no drama. You know, I think we kind of we'd run our course, which I think is a shame. I think that's probably one of the hardest things I'm finding about, like, this is not going to turn into a serious video. Don't want to get all too serious. But I think throwing yourself into, you know, taking that leap of faith again in love is, you know, it's harder than we think sometimes. Or it is when when you get older, you know. I think anyway. But it's going to be hot this week as well. I've gone hot. You can see the flush. Oh my god, look how hot I've gone. Why have I gone like really hot? So yeah, so I thought I'd come on here and just and just kind of talk a load and see who's about, really. Tell me where you're from, if anyone's in the room. Like, so I've decided I'm going to have a good week this week. I've had like weeks where I've been quite good and positive, and then I've had sort of like days where I've just been kind of like yeah, I've just sort of I've got something lined up for Tuesday, which is quite cool. And it's going to sound ridiculous because I can't talk about it. It's like, oh, I can't talk about it. It's how ridiculous is that? But I genuinely can't, because the news that, I don't know, like, I'm going to catch up with some people that I've not seen in a while. I'm on my third husband, girl. It happens. Relationships with. I think, yeah, you know, I think this is the thing. I think, you know, it's a leap of faith, isn't it? It's very much like a leap of faith. So, but there we go. You know, it will be. I was hoping that 2020 this year was going to be like kind of so much planned for this year. I don't know why. If that's maybe that's like maybe that's like a lot of us like had the same sort of thing, because like it was the start of a new decade. So for a lot of people, it was like a start. It was just, you know, it was you know, a fresh page for a lot of people. And I certainly had like a lot of things that I had pinned for this year. And now, like, it's, you know, I think this is what affects people mentally. I said, you know, because like, it's like, oh yeah, you want to do all this cool stuff? Yeah, you'd have to wait a year and then sit in your four walls, like, you know, your four walls. Oh, did that totally throw the camera? Absolutely. So yeah, so. Wedding cake. Well, Shaz, you'll have to come to my next wedding, okay? To be fair, I've only been married. I've been married once, but I've been in 2 long relationships. Would I get married again? Yes, I would. I would, like, but I kind of like, and I know you shouldn't look at it this way, but I kind of like to think, oh, I love this song. I kind of like to think the next relationship that I'm in is like, hi Carl, yeah, I'm good, thank you. Hey David, how's it going? I'm hoping that the next relationship, like, I'm not gonna run headfirst into a relationship. I'm not gonna go like boom, and you know, like it just needs to be chill. And that's just the way I like, you know, I don't want to run and trip anymore. You know, not that I have run and tripped. Yeah, I don't know. We should change the subject. Yeah. Oh yeah, defo. Yeah. I presume that's to do with the come to a wedding. There'll be cake. Went to my brother's wedding, actually. He was really lucky. He got married in it's like, I'm terrible with dates, in February. So just before this lockdown come in, and I did think, bloody hell, like, you know, 2-3 weeks later, everything had stopped. You know, I'm missing my McDonald's. I need to get a haircut because it's just getting longer and longer. Gonna walk into a barber and they're gonna go, fuck, girl, have you been in the cave? So I've got my college course at 3 o'clock, which my tutor's based in Boston, and it's sort of it is quite tough, but it's been good. It's better. No, this is the third time for me. Right. This will be the third time. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, the wedding, second time round. I hope so. Like, you know, I have like, I want my wedding to be really nice. Like, my first wedding was nice, but like, you know, I think, I don't know, I think the problem with me is that I think that I have all these, like, I've gone through a lot in my life, and I think, hey Carl, I think I've gone through a lot in my life, and experienced a lot of things, you know, and I think we all come out of life really our own little warriors. Like, we're all, you know, we've all, you know, I don't think there's any really, no one gets, like, well, maybe some people get an easy ride, but most of us take some chinks in the armour along the way. But yeah, I think, you know, getting in a relationship, you know, after you've been through, you know, both the good and the bad and the toils and the highs and lows of life, I think, you know, I sort of like, I don't know, who knows, but I was more open. I've even been on some dating apps, but I don't know, most people I speak to are just like, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. But my Tearfuls tour has been cancelled this year, which is a bit shit, unless the pubs and clubs open, and then I can get it back on. Yeah, 2 months of staring at the same wall. So yeah. So today is pretty much college, and then some gaming, and then this week I've just decided, however that is, I did have a friend come round. Yesterday, and I've had a couple of friends round. Like, I've not been partying on the front lawn, don't worry. If anything, I've been in total isolation and stay at home and keep people safe and all this. I certainly don't want to get into the politics of this corona, because, like, everyone has their own views about it. And it's like bloody Brexit, trying to discuss it as a human race. But responsibly, I've had, you know, how many people have I seen in 2 months? Let me add them up. 1, 2, 3, 4 people. I've seen 4 people in 2 months. I don't think that's too bad. Please tell me off. What's an easy ride? Don't know what an easy ride is. Yeah, right, Carl. I think, you know, don't get me wrong. A big shout out to Ryan. I just noticed Andy's joined the room. Hi, Andy. He may or may not know this guy. There's a guy called Ryan Lowry. He's the owner and runs So-Called Studios in Acox Green. In the last 2 weeks, I think, he passed out, taken into hospital, and he's got, like, brain tumours, and they're trying to find out whether they're cancerous or not. Yeah, the guy's young, like late 30s, early 40s, I don't know, tell me off for that, I bet. He could be, like, mid-30s. But, you know, life just doesn't discriminate about, you know, anything, does it? And, like, you know, so, you know, I don't know, you know, I think there is a big shout for, like, you know, I think that's the hardest thing about this isolation. I think, you know, we're all aware that, you know, I know we might not think it from day to day, but we're very lucky to be here, you know, and if you're lucky enough to walk down the street or even drive to the coast, you know, or play in a band, or whatever you're, you know, whatever you want to do in your life, you know, if you're lucky enough to do that, then that's great, isn't it? Because you know, we never know what tomorrow is going to bring. So yeah, so I think, you know, this lockdown's, you know, to be told you can't do nothing, you can't do any gigs for a year, or to be told, you know, suddenly you just sort of think, you know, I don't know. And then that's how I'm thinking anyway. Maybe I'm overthinking it too much. I'm almost out of tea, so I'm going to bugger off soon. I did label this as a cup of tea. But yeah, I don't know. I think maybe I'm just overthinking it all. Probably. I'll tell you one thing that has done though. When I was working, my last job was like, I started work at 7:30 and I finished work about 5:30. And then by the time I got home, it was like, I've got an itchy nose. By the time I got home, it was like 6:15. Sit down, do something to eat. It was 7 o'clock. And I've started reading books. So I'm normally in bed by 9 o'clock so I can read a book. That's a 2-hour freaking window. A 2-hour window of a weekday that's yours. That's crap, isn't it? I don't know. So maybe it's an opportunity to look at life, you know. But I've really struggled to kind of like, you know, I've struggled to, you know, to spend not just 24 hours alone, 48, no good at maths, 72, 103, you know, and then a week alone or 2 weeks, you know, without seeing anyone, and that's been hard. And then a month, and this is why I said I've seen 4 people in 2 months. You know, so I think that's, you know, that's been quite hard. It's probably been the hardest. Because I don't mind my own company, but as I say, if you go back to how we were, my own company was for 2 hours a night. You know, who can't deal with themselves for 2 hours a night? Yeah. So, what the hell is this? Okay. Yeah, so maybe there's part of, you know, I don't know. It has been an experience, isn't it? Spending all this time, you know, in lockdown. Yeah. So, I should go. Somebody say something. There's a guy screaming on the telly. But no, I have decided I'm going to have. I'm just going to try and make this week. I'm just going to try and make this week a positive week. Like today, I've got my class. And then tomorrow I'm going to wake up and I'm just going to try and. I've got some boxes to sort through, so maybe I'll go through one of them a day. Been telling myself to do that for the last 3 weeks, by the way. I did go for I went for a walk not so long ago. Like, I did 2 evenings where I went for a walk, and that was really nice, to be fair. So I need to do more of that. Yeah. Right. I'm gonna sign off. I'm gonna say bye. Unless anyone's got something to say, put it in the chat. Cup of tea. Hi Andy, hi Alan, hi Dave. I'm still waffling, but I have run out of waffle, I've run out of steam. I've been on there for about 10 minutes. I've talked a load of talk. But I've not done a live stream in ages. So I thought I'd come on and just sort of see if there's anyone around. I've spoken to the lovely Shaz. Hi Carl. How many tattoos have you got? Well, that's a very good question, because they've all kind of turned into one, if you like. So I've got like, I love my crows. My crows are there. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then they go all up. So there's altogether there is 32 crows. Then I've got a phoenix here, which I don't know if you can see. I've got a punk rock moon, so I've got like a moon with a mohawk, and then the crows are through here. So that's kind of this arm. I've got, you can never see it. Hold on. Where's my arm? Where has it gone? I've got a wild strays tattoo. Had that a year ago, just over a year ago, I think. I've got my wild cat, which is in a storm of flowers. It's in a tempest, so it's like a tempest storm. And then I've got some stars. They're like my soul numbers. And then I've got crows are cool. Thank you so much. And then I've got on this side, to get a bit dark on this arm, I've got abstemious. Oh, it's saying I can't rotate my bloody phone. Abstemious. And then I've got a semicolon tattoo. I'll start with the first one that I had, my semicolon. I went through some dark times in when I hit 30. I just couldn't deal with life really. I was running with this guy in London, and I got involved in some drugs and things. Not particularly proud of it, but it has kind of, I don't know, we all go through these things of like, we all go through these things in life. Some people go through one thing, some people go through another. And I just sort of, I've always kind of felt like, I've always felt alone, if that makes any sense. Like, I've had some good friends ride with me through life. I've had some of those friends die, and I've had some, friendships that have just ran a course, and then you put together, you then put together the relationships that you've had and the love and time that you've poured into them, and they've naturally come to an end. So suddenly you still find yourself, regardless of where you are in life, like, alone. It's still yourself you have to deal with, and it's still you that, So in that particular point in my life, I wasn't that strong, and I wanted out. Without being too graphic, because I've got a friend of mine who's recently experienced it's kind of dark really, but experienced a family suicide, and I'm talking to that person feeling dirty because I'm one of those people that kind of like, that had that mindset, landed in hospital twice, attempted countless times, and I think it's and it took me a therapy to get out. It took me AA at that time. That was my first experience of AA. And I think you have to do a lot, like a lot of soul searching, to kind of bring yourself back on track. And I watched my dad fight cancer in 2004, 2005, and I was angry because I'd sort of like, I've had a rocky road with my family, and I suppose like, I know that we would have, I know because I'm getting stronger and more confident, I know that we would have only got, probably a lot closer. I'm not saying we weren't close, just saying that so at that particular time I was just angry. This is really personal, I suppose. So it turned me to drink again. This is 2000 and, I'm just trying to think when this was, like 2005 I was drinking again. Actually, this is probably, I've never really thought about it actually. This is probably a turning point to when like my relationship broke down, and I ended up getting back into bands again and finding music, and then I found Grace, and then I ended up leaving that relationship and moving in with Grace. So I think I'd never really seen it as pivotal, but So I was on an edge again, and I was like, I wasn't particularly suicidal, but I was hitting drink again in a bad way, in an addictive way. So I decided to get my semicolon tattoo to remind me that, you know, that's not the answer. You know, you know, so, you know, obviously the semicolon tattoo is something to say that, you know, I'm not going to put a full stop here. I'm going to continue on. I'm going to see what the next day is like. You know, and that's how it's been. And then, hey Rachel, how you doing? This is getting deep and dark. But nice to see you, girl. Carl, you're alone on your life ride, and you bring family and friends along for the ride. I think you're absolutely right, and I think this is something that, I think you're very lucky. I think you're very lucky if you have, aside from family, right? Because I might turn that down. Yeah. So, like, aside from family, I think, you know, you're very, 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 very lucky if you've got one person who walks alongside you. I think that's fair to say. So, I took a bump, you know, in, when I hit 13, I took another bump in, like, 2005. And I went back to AA, and then, and I had a meltdown in 2018. And I went back into AA again. And you can see my Wild Strays video of my meltdown and stuff. So, I think, you know, but each time I'm melting down, I am getting stronger. You know, I think, Rachel started self-harming again, which is honestly shit. Yeah, you know, I've still got scars on my legs. Come and talk to me, Rachel, if you need to. Okay. I'm not saying I can help you, because there's a big sense of like you have to help yourself, right? I think that's the hardest thing to tell anyone, because, like, you know, you can have 1,000 people, but if you're in the dark, you won't see one of them, you know. And then obviously, you know, this isolation, for me is you know, has been really mentally challenging. I was lucky enough last year to do a festival, Calm Festival, which was raising money for actually it was male suicides, to be fair. And I was offered to do it again this year, and I was absolutely up for it. And but obviously everything's just been put on hold. You know, I implore everyone out there, you know, to stay strong, and you know, you know, if you are of that mindset, then go and talk to someone. You know, the unbelievably crap thing is, and this is not, you know, this is a very pessimist way of like of looking at things, but you know, ultimately every single one of us is going to die. You know, so you might ask yourself, what's the point? You know, so there's a big, you know, you can struggle to argue that point. You know, you could also argue that, you know, we're here. It is a beautiful life, and there are some amazing people about, and you know, we're here, so why not make the best experience we can? You know, and if you can make everyone's life a little bit less bumpy, then do that. You know, that's my philosophy anyway. So, right, I don't know. I have proper waffled today, and I sometimes, most of the time, take my my YouTube channel's always up. Hi John, how's it going? But I might take this video down because it's very personal, isn't it? It's okay having a personal chat with, like, in a live chat with whoever's with us right now, because we're having a one-to-one. This is my theory anyway. So we can have a one-to-one chat, and it's very personal, and I can delete it, and then, like, no one can then wind it back and then like over-analyse what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean? Get your band in the metal to the masses for Bloodstock. We played Metal to the Masses. We played Metal to the Masses up in Stoke. Thing was, I think like our band is, and we pride ourselves on this. I'm quite punk rock. Grace is quite metal. Liam's quite metal, but there's the Wild Strays is in the key of E. So like or in tuning of E. So we're not. We have a so basically we're like rock and metal and punk and stuff. So, you know, it was really cool doing Metal to the Masses, but, you know, we're always a little bit, you know, I don't know, there's something about the Wild Strays. That's probably why I love it so much. It's because it's just like an infusion of like just, you know, and that's the Wild Strays. But it was a lovely opportunity to play Metal to the Masses. We were grateful to be invited up and take part. And you know, and obviously, you know, Godspeed to everyone who's still involved in all that. And yeah, it's all good, you know. But I was going to go somewhere with that. So that was the Bloodstock one, and then of course we got nominated for the BCMA Awards, which is the Birmingham Music. No, what is it? Black Country Music Awards, which totally blew us away. You know, to be nominated for any award, I think was, you know, like I think I was at work, and I think, was it me that mentioned it? I sent it over like into the band chat. I was like, "Have you seen this?" Or it was someone. Anyway, ended up in the band chat. And I was like, "What?" You know, and we were stoked about that. You know, just to be nominated, just to have any, you know, any recognition of like, you know, that, you know, we've been on the circuit what, two years. There's bands out there that's been on the circuit 3, 4, 5, 6 years. You know, we've got Hey Mike, how's it going? And we've got an album coming out, you know, with a bit of luck at the end of the year. That's what we're going to use this time for, to write new music. I don't know if live music's going to happen. It's like, you know, it's such a shame, and it's such a drug. Like, you know, it's not something that I can really not do. So not only are you told to stay in your house, not only are you told you can't catch up with your friends, not only are you told you can't go out and see other bands, you can't go out and do your own band, and like, you know, it's like taking people's bloody, you know, so combine that with the conversation we've had 10 minutes ago, what's the point in living? You know, but, you know, it's all good. But no, I've got some collaborations coming up, I think. My friend Carly is going to come up from London. I think we're going to do a little bit. And I was talking to this girl called Kelly, and she's over in America, and I might be doing some stuff with her. I don't know how we're going to do that, like, because I don't have this, like, what all the celebs have. I don't have, like, thousands of pounds worth of equipment, you know. I have a guitar, an amp, and a telephone. That's all I have, you know, a mobile phone. But we shall see what gives. My friend up in York, the producer's kicking my ass about getting up there for Tearfuls. And the hardest thing's probably been motivation, and that's just because, like, I've lost my job and nearly lost my house and my van and shit like that. Because you know, it's had massive implications. You know, this whole bloody lockdown. So how long have we been talking? Does it not say? Okay. You will do it. Your band are awesome. Thank you, Carl. That's extremely kind. I think, you know, I'm the first one to big up, you know, many bands out there, like, you know, I shouldn't name them, but, you know, like White Crow and Tin Fish and, I don't know, it's just bloody loads of them. Where do I start? You know, Witch Tripper, Nova Crow, K-Light, who I recently seen, they're really cool, and Malin, and I don't know, just like, the list is endless. Anybody who says out there that, you know, that music's dead needs to pull their bloody head out their ass, because There's some amazing musicians out there, and a lot of people doing their own thing. You know, which is why, like, cover bands are fine. You know, there's obviously a place for them. Which is why I love the Wild Strays. The Wild Strays is doing exactly not what anyone else is doing, not trying to be better than anyone else. It's doing what we do. And I think that's beautiful in its own right. Do you think the Sex Pistols come onto the scene and, you know, thought, oh, you know, we need to do this? No, they did their own thing. So I think that's pretty beautiful. So, but happy Sunday, Mike. Yeah, I'm out of tea, by the way. Thanks, Dave. Yeah, well, we're going to catch up for a beer, aren't we? We are definitely going to get... There's a few people that I've promised to catch up. Andy from the Flash Hearts. Yeah, he's a drummer. And I've been talking to him recently, and we're catching up for a beer, and I'm going to catch up with a beer with Dave and anybody else who wants to catch up for a beer. We'll have a beer. I'm allowed to drink with people. I'm not allowed to drink on my own. Or at least that's the rule I've set myself. So if I'm in good company, then I'm all good to go. But if I'm sat at home drinking and binge drinking and just feeling sorry for myself, that leads to a road of ruin. Because I've been through AA, and it's like a cult, and I don't really want to get into I don't want to get into like the schematics of like Alcoholic Anonymous. I used to book, actually, ended up, because I've been through AA for 3 times now, and it, you know, it's a long story. It's a long story. I won't bore you with it. But I ended up using Russell Brand's recovery book. I was advised. We used to, well, see, the Wild Strays was involved with a sort of hooked up with Skyfire Records. This was like when we released the EP, and we got a bit of support, and then it was played over in America and stuff like that. 9 Lives, which was crazy cool. One of my best memories is like when the single got released, it was played on the radio, and we were up in Stafford, and we were stood around the radio with like we stood around the radio with all our drink and like going, "Wow, on the radio!" It was fucking cool. So a big thanks to my my friend down in London, SG1 Radio, for playing that track on the airways, which was totally cool, and we've been lucky to get that played both in the UK and the US. So hopefully we're going to come out with some stuff this year. But you know, as I say, there's many great bands out there, and they're all doing their thing, and they're all bloody awesome at what they do. And I think that's the beauty. I think, you know, like, you don't want to copy anyone else. You don't want to be anyone else. You just want to be yourself. So, but as for music, I just don't know what's going to happen this year. So I'm gonna work on some solo stuff as well. And as I say, I've got a couple of people that I'm going to be jamming with. So, yep, can't wait. So I'm heading to Liverpool. We're going to beer up in Liverpool as well. Okay, cool. But yeah, no, definitely. I'll take me out for a drink. I'll take you out for a drink. But no, it's all good. It's all good. Right. Well, look, I think, thank you for spending your Sunday morning with me. I may or may not leave this up. Because no doubt my mum's going to watch it and she'll go all the way through it going, what did you mean? But bless her, she well, she knows my life because obviously she's my mum. So have yourself a good Sunday. Stay safe. Thank you for everyone dropping in just now. Unfortunately, I have been waffling for like 20 minutes. Feel free to check out my YouTube channel. I do blogs on there. And thank you for being, you know, stopping by, listen to me waffle, and just be awesome to each other. Alright, look at this Sunday. Hadn't even brushed my hair. Who gives a bugger, right? Alright, catch you later. Take it easy. See you soon. Much love.